Parliament security is now being taken over by the CISF. The new force is taking into account all the access points. We are joined by Mr. Yashovardhan Azad, who himself is a well-known figure as far as the security of India is concerned, because he was heading that unit in Intelligence Bureau. Sir, now CISF is taking over and CRPF is being pushed out. Even Delhi police has been asked to step aside. The entire area is going to be controlled by CISF. How do you see this move by the center?
Well, it was announced, I think, long time back that the CISF may be taking over the security after that breach. I really don't know the contents of the security audit which has been done. And so one would have been very, happy to see the details as to what exactly has been pointed out. But I think as far as solution goes, I won't say that putting CISF there in the parliament is a good idea, because they will be basically there doing access control. And this could have been done very easily by the parliament inner force. They already have a security phalanx out there. It's headed by an IPS officer. And see, I can understand if CISF is used for very, very sensitive, like nuclear installations or outside Prime Minister's house, or, very, very sensitive installations. It's absolutely, but, Parliament is something where people go. And Parliament, after the terrorist attack, has been really refurbished and, strengthened in its security measures, both outside technologically and with the help of manpower. So the question is of inside. Inside, you need more political will and more spine by the people who check, who do personal screening, who are there at the access control points, that they do not allow anybody without a thorough checking. In fact, the problem is sometimes is the MPs and the relatives who object to rigorous screening. That is a problem. And also there's a problem of technology. So I'm sure if there is a particular, person, I had also suggested, by the way, that the Secretary Security, in my article, that Secretary Security, who's in the Cabinet Secretariat, should be overall in charge of Parliament security, like he's in charge of Prime Minister's security. Now, the Parliament IPS officer, who's the chief, can easily raise his own force, because all over the world, whether it's mall security, whether it's building security, their inner security takes care of it. Because outside security, in any case, you have the paramilitary forces. The CAPF, which is manning, and therefore for manning the internal security, CISF need not have been put in there.
Sir, when this intrusion had taken place, or when this breach had taken place, that time it was noticed that access control was the main issue, and even the visitors gallery, the height of the visitors gallery was very below. I mean, it was not as high as it was in the earlier parliament. And also as far as frisking is concerned, they were saying that they had taken all those prohibited items in their shoes. So what can be done to strengthen the security on both these fronts?
See, shoe is a problem. Yes. In the airports, wherever there is a high level of threat today, in all sensitive airports, they are removing the shoes. So unless you're wearing a rubber shoes, all the other shoes are checked, which anyway, that is the kind of security which is done at the airports. The Parliament may have to do it eventually. On that particular day, it was a very sensitive day. It was the inauguration. This should have been done, or this particular day which had significance. Now, otherwise, I in fact once raised it somewhere that the technology for checking the shoes, I mean, I'm sure there must be something which must have developed in the world. That needs certainly to be brought in, because that's a new thing. Otherwise, also a more advanced kind of a scanner which is there abroad, that can be brought into Parliament, which almost gives a complete picture of I'm forgetting the name right now. That can be done. So with the new technology and with your own force, What you need in parliament is skills. You have the manpower. You need the skills, you need the professionalism, and you need a little bit of uprightness. That, yes, firmness, rather, I would say,
Yeah.
to say no to the people who want some kind of a, relaxation from these rules. That should
Mm.
not be allowed. And once that
Mm.
is done, I don't think there is a problem. So by bringing CISF, there is no difference.
Sir, when I was speaking to senior officers in paramilitary, they were saying that they are already going through the procedures and how to do the access control because the building is very large. So they are still doing the basic work and the entire work would be completed. Till now, CRPF was also there, but now they are pushed into the outer cordon. So how difficult would be because the premises itself is very large and so many VVIPs are always there, present there. So what kind of access control should be there put in place? And what the CISF says that they're still learning the basics. What do you have to say about that?
I don't think CISF needs to learn the basics because it's a very professional body and it's already doing at the screening at the airports. I'm
Hmm.
sure what it's actually saying is that they have to do an in-depth study, a survey plan of the entire area as to
Hmm.
where to put the access control points
Hmm.
properly so that it covers the entire building in a comprehensive manner. And therefore,
Hmm.
which are the stations they're going to put, what is the kind of equipment they will put over there, what is the kind of latest handheld scanners they will use, or the door frame metal detectors they'll use, or the baggage screeners, etc., etc. So in that respect, yes, they will do an advanced security analysis over there, and that will take a while. There's no doubt about that. What I would
Hmm.
have suggested was that this advanced security planning could have been done by a team of
Hmm.
experts, security experts in parliament, who would have stated that these are the access control stations which are required for manning this building, and then the force could have been internal, who could have been skilled, and they could have easily done the job.
So yesterday we also saw, NSG drill was going on around the Lutyens zone. In fact, the paragliders, the drones, every kind of technology was there. People were also seeing as to what was happening. So, do you think it's a good idea for such drills to take place in the public glare? Because obviously, it also sensationalizes the entire security, issue.
Well, we love displays and banners and extravagance. So I mean, I don't mind drones floating all over. Drones are being
Hmm.
used all over the world, from delivering pizzas to delivering drugs and guns to delivering medicines too, and also for surveillance. So
Hmm.
drone technology is highly developed. It's being used by the army, the BSF on the
Hmm.
borders. So that is used for outer security and for spotting
Hmm.
unwanted elements and areas. It's not a bad idea from time to time. It also
Hmm.
acts as a deterrence. There is no
Hmm.
doubt about it. So
Hmm.
from time to time, if it is done, there is no harm.
Hmm.
As long as it is used on purpose and used with a specific objective in mind, it's not a bad idea at all.
The last question, when Parliament attack had taken place in on December 13, 2001, that time you were also in that expert panel who had, suggested some changes as far as the security is concerned. Do you think times have changed, the security scenario has changed, and even the forces, are they equipped enough to foresee the challenges ahead?
Well, technology has certainly changed. Methodology, not really that much. The basics of access control are the same, but there is a why. You mentioned drones, for example. They have made the job very easy for both the security men and also the criminals.
Absolutely.
Technology can be used both for good and bad. So
Hmm.
there's a lot of things that are much, much better. For example, you talked about the checking of the shoes.
Hmm.
One needs to have a more sophisticated channel, technology than taking off the shoes and then going through that. That's the easier way. You
Hmm.
you ask a person to take out the clothes and everything, and then go removing everything. but it's a cumbersome process. So either you go in for that, the screening station, which reveals all. There is also a latest scanner in which everything can be tracked.
Body
So
scanners.
that's yeah. So that's also available there. So yes, technology has changed. You have to bring in new technology. You have to bring in the latest new weapons. You have to bring in the latest skills or the training methodology which is being used. And I'm sure the IBS officer of the team which is there, which is monitoring the security, would be there. One thing I'll also suggest that secretary security overlooks perhaps one of the best security agencies in the world, that is the SPG, that is of the Prime Minister's Secretary. So therefore, Parliament also being very, very an area where all our representatives are there, he should also supervise the security of the Parliament House.
Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to us and explaining to us the dynamics as far as this VVIP security is concerned. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nita.